Hello everybody. I'm very happy to share an important video lecture to all of you today. Well, this is about human rights, which is from the fifth unit of EVS, Human Population and the Environment. I'm very happy to introduce myself to you. My name is Shubha, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry, RMD Engineering College. Let us move into the first question. What are human rights? Most of us fight for our rights. We say this is right and this is wrong, and we keep telling that it is my right to do this. What are these human rights legally? Well, human rights are basically the moral principles or norms that describe certain standards of human behavior, which are regularly protected as natural and legal rights both in municipal and in international law. These are the fundamental rights possessed by all human beings, irrespective of their caste, nationality, sex, or language. They apply regardless of where you are from, what you believe, or how you choose to live your life. They can never be taken away from any government law or by the legislator. India is a democratic country, and all of us have the rights to possess these human rights. Every citizen, his right. Am I correct? Now, our second question is, where do these human rights arise from? Well, all these started with the United Nations that was founded in the year 1945. The atrocities of the Second World War made the protection of human rights an international priority. The United Nations allowed more than 50 member states to contribute to a general association by the name Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This was established in the year 1948. A number of rights were given priority, and a few of these rights are mentioned for your focus. To start with, human right to freedom, human right to property, right to freedom of religion, right to culture and education. The other rights include human right to constitutional remedies, human right to equality, human right against exploitation, human right to food and environment, and human right to good health. Now let us move into each of these human rights into a little detail, dear students. The first one is about human right to freedom. Well, all of us have the privilege to express our views freely. We have the right to assemble at any place to express our views. We can form unions and associations, we can build houses, we can start a profession, and we have the freedom to a secure society. But I would like to remind you of something, students. In a democratic country like India, we have the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any form of media. But such things are not always permitted in many countries. In a country like China, which is getting very famous these days, you should know that imparting information through media, especially through online sources, is prohibited by the government. Now, let me share a bit of statistical data to you. This information is not available in books. If you would like to have more marks, kindly note down the statistical data and try to improve yourself in upgrading with marks. More than 27 million people are currently enslaved in the name human trafficking. Does freedom really exist with equality? I really doubt, students. More than two-thirds of the world has abolished death penalty. But in the year 2006 alone, more than 1,591 deaths have occurred. And some of the top countries that perform death penalties even today include China, Iran, Pakistan, Sudan, and the US. Human trafficking has become a big business today, where the human organs are sold and marketed. Is it not a very pitiful act that is happening today? The picture we see here is about ethnic cleansing. How many of us know that such things are happening worldwide? These are violent conflicts, and here we see in a place called Darfur at Sudan, this is commonly happening by the name ethnic cleansing. Now, what is this, dear friends? Ethnic cleansing is about one group of people killing the other group and the government supporting this. The government of Sudan is completely responsible for this act called ethnic cleansing. They have committed numerous attacks on the civilian populations and are directly in charge of huge number of massacres. The two rebel groups keep fighting one over the other, and the most dominant groups take charge. The previous example can be cited as a case study. The next slide we would like to move on is about the human right to property and freedom of religion. All of us have the right to own property, the right to use and enjoy the property that we hold on to. We shall not be deprived of the property that we are in charge of. And when we speak about religions, we know that all religions are equal before law. We have the right to wear religious clothing. We have the right to conserve culture, language, to establish educational and charitable institutions. We have the right to follow in beliefs and the right to worship. The next right is about the human right to culture and education and to constitutional remedies. India is a country known for its culture, tradition, and heritage. The cultural rights are the rights that are related to art and culture. These are the human rights that aim at assuring the enjoyment of culture, quality, human dignity, and non discrimination. It also involves in the participation of the cultural life of the community. Speaking about education next, all of us have the right for free elementary education. We have the right to equal access of higher education based on merit. We have the choice for the kind of education that shall be given to one's children to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. Speaking about constitutional remedies, all of us have the right to go for the court. We have the right for the security of a person, and all of us are equally protected before the law. The next is about human rights to equality and human right against exploitation. All citizens are equal before law. Is this correct? I don't think so. There is so much of violence against women and girls. Violence against women and girls is the most pervasive violation of human rights in the world today. We have an approximate count of more than 603 million people living in countries where domestic violence is still not considered a crime. The law says there is no discrimination on grounds of religion, sex, caste, or place. There are equal chances of employment. It also says that children cannot be employed as laborers. Every citizen has the right to fight against any form of exploitation. Every year, we celebrate the Human Rights Day on December 10th. Are we really celebrating it with real meaning and real power? This is about the human right to food and environment and to good health. The human rights to get healthy food, safe drinking water, and healthy environment are of great priority. We have the right to possess good physical and mental health. Hunger is both a violation of human dignity, it is equally an obstacle to social, political, and economic progress. We should know, students, that more than 805 million people go undernourished on a daily basis. I would call this as the three A's: availability, adequacy, and accessibility. If these three A's are available, which means adequate food can be made available, then hunger would not be a very big problem, and most of us would hold on good with the human right to food and environment and to good health later. Let us move into the Indian Constitution and its articles. The Indian Constitution provides for civil, social, cultural, and educational rights. Political rights are also amongst these. These include the right to judicially enforce certain laws in front of us. These articles will help you to understand better. Article 14 explains us about equality before law. Article 15 explains us that there is no discrimination on the grounds of race, religion, caste, etc. Article 16 for equal opportunity and employment. Article 19 for freedom of speech, expression, and Article 20 for protection from conviction except in accordance with the law of the land. Article 22 for laying down the rights of a person in custody. The other articles include Article 23, which prohibits traffic in human beings and forced labor, which we've highlighted in this study. Article 24, which prohibits labor in children. Article 26, which maintains religious institutions. Article 29 for conservation of language. Article 30 for the right to linguistic minority. Article 32 for right to constitutional remedy. And we have more articles which are highlighted in our notes as well. I thank one and all for patiently watching my video lecture. I would like to get reminded of the words of the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Uploading human rights is in the interest of all. Let us respect all the human rights, the advances for the well-being of every individual, the stability for every society, and the harmony for an interconnected world. Thank you one and all again.